I welcome you to yet another exciting episode of Let's Talk, a podcast for the youths by the youths, and definitely I am your host Kondwani Hastings Banda. And on today's episode, it is the first ever episode on YouTube, and we were doing it previously on Anchor FM as well as Apple, and we're just making sure that we're trying to display the message coming from a fellow youth who's starting his first ever YouTube channel. This is the first ever Let's Talk episode on YouTube, so just make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whichever episode that we get to display or post, you'll be the first ones to get notified. And on today's episode, we'll be looking at something that's very interesting. We'll be looking at some of the things that I wish that I learned earlier. And just a pointer, these are things that I'm not forcing someone to live by. These are things that I, with experience, pain and struggle, they're things that I've gotten to implement, and the things that I wish I knew earlier in my particular life. And number one thing that I wish I knew earlier was it's okay to fail and make mistakes. Growing up, I grew up as someone who was a perfectionist. And when it comes to failing or making mistakes, when you don't get to have or embrace many opportunities when you fear failure or when you fear making mistakes, because I believe that experience comes from not necessarily age, but it comes from the experience, or maturity rather comes from experience and not age. So I believe that if you want to grasp a lot of opportunities in life, you need to make sure that you embrace failure. You need to fail more and make mistakes for you to learn at the end of the day. Point number 2 is express your feelings and be vulnerable. And growing up, I had people that I looked up to and thought that they had everything figured out. You have people like your parents, your grandparents, and your aunties. You always think that they have everything figured out. And as I grew, I started to realize that it's okay to express your feelings and just be vulnerable. And we are living in a world or a culture where men precisely attempt to be these hard rocks that do not say how they really feel. And I believe that vulnerability is just a way of discovering yourself and making yourself grow. Vulnerability is just a way of you being human. And one thing that we human beings need to know is that vulnerability is not weakness, and that's how we definitely take it most of the times. And I know that as time goes by, you get to know that the more vulnerable you are, the more feelings you get to express, the more you will be free with yourself, and the more you grow and the more you mature mentally. Because I believe that most of the mental issues that we as human beings get to have are things that we definitely do not talk about. And the more you talk about them, the more you get to be free with who you are. You get to be who you are deeply. And I believe that vulnerability is not weakness, as I said, and you need to be free. And that's one thing that I wish I knew earlier, because I never used to be one person who used to say how they really feel. I used to keep things inside. No matter how I really feel, being expressive was really hard. And now that I've grown, I believe that now I'll be more vulnerable and I'll be more expressive, because I feel like I am more free when I am vulnerable. And another pointer is don't worry about what others think. Do not worry about what others think. We as human beings, we are so psychologically tempted to feel or do things according to what other people say or what other people do in a certain way. And I believe that personally myself, I've been that kind of a person, and I'm trying to work on it at this particular point, being, someone who does things according to me as, Kondwani Banda, and not according to what other people think. And it's a really big weakness, if I must tell you, because there are a lot of things that you get to miss when you look at your life in other the third people's perspective. And it's very important that you do not care about what other people think, because you were born alone. Come on, you were born alone, and God brought you to this particular world to face and do things on your own. So why should you even care about what other people think about your? Another thing is, not everyone has to like you, and that is a no-brainer. Not everyone needs to like you. One thing that I've gotten to learn is, if you are liked by a lot, then probably you're not doing the right thing. Because I believe that the most successful people, most people that are doing the most in life, are people that are not liked by everyone. And not everyone needs to like you. I believe that conflict is okay. Because as much as you fear conflict and you don't like upsetting the other party, conflict creates ideas, and when the conflict is done, the bond even becomes stronger. You might bear with me on that particular one. So make sure that you put that at the back of your score. Not everyone has to like you. You have to live with that. You have to live with that. And the last but not the least point is, it's okay to say no. It is very okay to say no. I've always been someone who's been a people pleaser, someone who lives their life by trying to make sure that I put a smile on someone's face, even if it doesn't happen to me or make me smile myself. And it has cost me a lot. It has cost me a whole lot. And I believe that if you practice the art of saying no, you have more opportunities. You will live even a better and more proud life, because you do not base what you do according to how someone else is feeling, and